It's not what they intended in the Constitution. I don't understand. It didn't give you unfettered access to weapons like that. Weapons like that, if you shoot that, hunters don't need them. If you shoot that bad, where you need 100 rounds to kill anything, then you then you probably a Charlotte Hornet if you shoot that bad.
I don't wanna pop the pistol, we both grown, we can talk out issues. But just in case you got too much bass, I'ma bring 2 sticks like a popsicle. The mag is big, but the Glock little. The bag is big, but the block little. You niggas be rushing to die. I'm taking my time, I'ma outlive you. You niggas be blowing the whistle off. Know everything like you see through a crystal ball. Know what they did and you know what they did to y'all. You know about every bitch in the city, dog. Groupie ass niggas, I gotta get rid of y'all. Play from a distance, won't be in the midst of y'all. Get to acting like bop if you piss me off. Acting like bop if you piss me off. I'm about to wear out your whiskey off. When I grab you by the whiskers and rip them off.
Welcome to Big Boys Noise.
First off, guys, D.L. Hughley is one of my favorite comedians. He's in my top 5 comedians. Definitely in my top 10 all time because his comedy always has some substance to it. I've just always liked the guy. But in this video clip I'm going to share with you, I've stumbled over it recently, and he will always still be my favorite comedian because the two things have nothing to do with one thing has nothing to do with the other. But I couldn't believe his stance on rifles, like being able to have a rifle. Now, in this interview with Willie D, he says that he is a firearm owner, but he doesn't feel as though anybody... So that's what makes this an interesting topic today. He's a firearm owner, but he doesn't feel as though anybody should have access to something like a rifle that could kill that many people that fast.
Are you a gun owner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You believe in assault rifles being able to be accessible?
I do not.
And why not?
Because I think that, first off, the amendment that they reference, the Second Amendment gives you, obviously the right to bear arms, but a well-regulated militia. Now, what is a militia now? Generally, it's not what they intended in the Constitution. I don't understand. It didn't give you unfettered access to weapons like that. Weapons like that, if you shoot that, hunters don't need them. If you shoot that bad, where you need 100 rounds to kill anything, then you then you probably a Charlotte Hornet if you shoot that bad. But this notion that we can't be trusted with cold medicine, we can't be trusted with various other kinds of drugs. If you go to buy a Sudafed, they get your license, ask you what it is. I mean, the assumption is that you're going to use it for illicit purposes if you go to buy more than a few packs of it. Guns you have unfettered access to. I never met anybody who stockpiles weapons like that is either preparing for a race war, waiting for the government to attack them and they think, or waiting till somebody pisses them off. What the fuck do you need a gun that kills that many people that fast on the streets of this country? What do you need it for? Because they got it. The reason you have those guns, because I can't have them. That don't mean you should.
Well, we do a lot of things because we can.
Exactly.
Because I hear a lot of people saying stuff like that. Well, as long as you're not hurting anybody, you can do it.
But he will eventually.
Yeah, you can spit on the ground while people are walking behind you. That's not illegal.
Right.
But why would you do something like that?
What do we need? Why are we... The number one cause of death of children in America, 1 to 19, is gun deaths. But we'll ban books, but not anything to make their life better. We're more worried about drag shows like RuPaul than a Ruger. I don't understand. What do you need that unfettered access to those? You can walk around in a fucking restaurant with an AR-15 on you. Why? Why? What's the point of it? It's an implied threat is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cold-blooded, man. That's a cold game that they're playing out here.
And then you know what galls me is that school in Texas where all those children got shot and 400 police officers stayed out there and let them die. And what was a whole good guy with a gun then? It was 400 good guys with guns. Mm. Even if 400 people were held at bay by one dude with a gun and they were worried about their safety like that, why the fuck is it on our streets? If one dude held off 400 officers, duly sworn officers, fully armed, dogs, radios, guns, vests, what the fuck is it on our street for? Because we can't have it? That's silly to me.
My wondering is, does he realize that there are pistols with 30-round ladder mags that can kill people just as fast? One of the other things that I wonder is, I noticed in the clip here, I might chop this video, these things I'm saying up and put them after he makes his points. I might make my points. I don't know how I'm going to do this video, so just work with me. Or I might just let it flow like this. I want to know your guys' comments on this clip here, but on this video, little 3-minute clip in this interview. But also, I just want to say that I don't understand his mindset on having a rifle, because he even goes into talking about the guy who had the rifle inside of the school and 400 people didn't go. He said, where was a good guy with a gun then? But he said 400 good guys with guns didn't go inside the school or whatever. And he said, okay, so that's one thing. He said 400 good guys with guns, police officers he's talking about didn't come in at school to save those children. Okay, but what I don't think Mr. Hughley understands is that when we say good guy with gun, we talk about a good guy that was actually on the scene, meaning, say, when that started happening, a good guy that literally would have been inside of the school with a gun, Mr. Hughley, already. Okay, a good guy that's on the scene. We all know that the police, first of all, police are responders, so they're going to take 10, 15 minutes to get to a crime scene. You know how many people could be killed in 10 to 15 minutes? Okay, when we say good guy, when the 2A community, Mr. D.L. Hughley, when the 2A community says good guy with a gun, we talk about like a literal good guy, not a police officer. I mean, we know they're good guys, but I'm talking about a guy he might just be in the school, he might be a principal who got access to a rifle if need be, or a pistol, or a firearm if need be. It's locked up, secured, of course, or if it's on his person, but he's a good guy with a gun, with training and experience to be able to use that firearm. And some people argue that the teachers should have firearms. I believe myself that the teachers, if they choose to have firearms, a couple teachers with firearms wouldn't hurt inside of a school system, but if those teachers are going to have firearms, they should be trained. They should make sure they go through that training with a firearm, and it should be concealed. So everybody doesn't know which teacher has a firearm, but if things would ever hit the fan, if somebody were to come in trying to do a school shooting, the teachers who do have the firearms could then react. I'm not trying to say that guns are for everybody, but what I'm trying to say, Mr. Hughley, is a good guy with a gun is simply a good guy, a regular person, a civilian, the innocent, like a sheep, a lamb, who's actually there when the shooting starts. Not getting a call, a 911 call, I need help here. No, the person who's actually there, the janitor, the good guy with a gun. That's what we're speaking of there. Also, Mr. Hughley, when you say, well, if there's a guy who had a rifle, AR-15 rifle, and he held off 400 people, and he could kill that many people that fast, that gun don't need to be available to nobody. Well, wait a minute. The first word you said was a dude. I'm going to use the word you said. If there's a dude with a rifle, guys, I want to say this to you, Mr. Hughley. The gun didn't hold off the officers. The dude held off the officers, okay? See, the first thing you said was there's a dude with a rifle and he's holding off all these people, then the gun don't need to exist. Well, if there's a dude who drives drunk all the time, I can't say the car don't need to exist. Can I? I have to say that person who drives drunk doesn't need to be behind a vehicle. Okay? That person who would use a rifle, the person who would hold off all those police officers and kill children, he doesn't need to be behind a rifle. Okay? So you have to separate the two. Separate the firearm from the mindset of the person with it. Okay? That's where I stand there. But I am glad that Mr. Hughley has enough sense to be a firearm owner, to own a pistol, to protect his family with, just being a person, not about being a rich and famous man, which I'm sure brings more attention to him and his home front, but just being a person, just being a civilian, a regular person. I'm glad he has enough sense to own a pistol. And my thing is, if you have enough sense to own a pistol, the next thing you need is it's not for everybody, but it may not be a bad thing to have enough sense to also own a rifle, okay? But I'm sure if Mr. Hughley has security, like protecting his home, I'm sure they own rifles. And if he doesn't have security protecting his home, I'm sure he should think, he really should think about even having a rifle in his home. Because when they invade these homes, Mr. Hughley, a pistol does do a job, but a rifle could even do an even better job for you also. And fighting off 2, 3, 4, 5 cats with Dracos and the stuff that they running up in homes with and rifles, okay? And the next thing I would be is say, Mr. Hughley, nobody wants to walk in a restaurant with an AR-15 overly sling. You're like, why you want to have it? Because you can? Why you want to walk around with AR-15 in the restaurant? Nobody's walking around with AR-15 in the restaurant, Mr. Hughley. That's not our intent. Now, there's backpack guns, such as this CZ Scorpion, such as this 300 Blackout, that could fit in, say, maybe a sling or a backpack, that I wouldn't be afraid to go out and eat with if I had a backpack. If I was in backpack mode, had a backpack on, it's just a backpack gun. It's not a way. It's not a threat. You're not trying to be a threat. I heard in the clip he also said opposing to be a threat. You're not trying to be a threat. You want to. Us 2A guys, gun guys, are loving, peaceful people. We want to be as low key as possible. We don't want to be standing out there. We don't really want to walk around, even though we have the right to walk around concealed and openly. We're not trying to do that. We're not trying to scare nobody. All we want to do is protect our lives and your life, the lives of us, our family, or the lives of someone else and their family. If forced to that limit, if in a need be, forced to that place in a need be situation, Mr. Hughley. And guys, that's just my take on this interview. But the interview shocked me, but I appreciate his openness, and I still love D.L. Hughley. That's my guy. He's a great guy, a great comedian. But I just thought it was interesting to hear his mindset on it. You guys let me know in the comment box. What are your thoughts? Your boy, Big Boy Noise. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Should rifles be banned?